So before we get into the video, I just want to go over my goals for the week. These were my goals, but I had to change them because, you know what, we just finished 75 hard, and I don't really want to do all this, so we're just going to take a break. We are going to take a break on the weight, but we are still going to get our 10,500 steps. We're going to cut the water down to 128 ounces. We're going to do 100 calf raises and 100 squats. We are going to track all calories. I'm not going to keep myself at any certain calories per day, but we are going to make sure that we still track everything we're eating. And one electrolyte serving a day. That way we can make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to do. Now let's get, ooh boy, you saw my feet? You owe me money. So now let's get into this part. Check off the goal list. So we need to check into summer shredding for next year, see if they put out the schedule for next year for Toronto and the first one in Houston. I'll take the choice between those two. Pick between Spartan Race and Spartan Trail. I am more going towards Spartan Race because I think the training would help me out more as far as I think it'll be better because of the training will help me with summer shredding, whereas just running isn't going to do much. But it also depends on when summer shredding is going to be, because that will help me choose between the two, or if I do a Spartan race later on in the year. But then again, you could actually do both. There's that idea I've always had, and it was a Montana camping trip, but really cabin trip. And I want to go for it. So next year, I'm just going to do it. So that's going to be a 2026 thing. Pitch collab ideas with other creators. Shea Butter is one I want to work with. Shy Sarai is one I want to work with. Shea Butter is one I want to work with. I think I mentioned her. Angry Vigilante I want to work with. So let's see if we can do those. And tell your crush you like her. All right. Those are the goals. Let's see how that goes. Anyway, on to the video.
Does seem like she wants to lose weight and get better, but he hopes that she is really ready to lose weight.
All right, so time right now is whatever the fuck time it is, and I want to talk about 75 hard. I know we said we're going to do it, so let's go ahead and do it. So very first thing I want to get into, and we're going to talk about, well, let's just talk about everything. You ready? So the first thing I want to get into, the very first thing is 75 hard is not a fitness or a weight loss challenge. I know that a lot of people, they try to market it as a weight loss challenge or as a fitness challenge, or they try to, and I know that it does have the component of pick a nutrition plan and stick to it and 2 workouts a day. It is not a fitness challenge. And I think that's where a lot of people keep going wrong with it. So if you're doing this to lose weight, if you're doing it thinking it's a weight loss challenge, it's not. This is not that. So please don't think it is. Did I lose a lot of weight on it? Yes, I did. 60 pounds. But that's not what it is. So please don't do it thinking that you have to do this to lose weight, fat, build muscle, whatever you want to call it, or whatever your goal is. Now, that is the reason why I did it. It's because I wanted to lose. But that's not necessarily the thing. You could do a lot. There's a lot of things you could do, and there's a lot of things that consist of a workout. Gardening consists of a workout. You can walk twice a day on breaks, and that that is a workout. So it's not a weight loss plan. Anyway, let's move into the pros, because there are some pros. As a matter of fact, I think I picked 5 pros, and then I think I picked 5 cons. So let's get into them. This did push me to regiment my time block. Pick a time that I'm going to get out and do my first workout. Pick a time I'm going to read. Pick a time I'm going to do my second workout. Pick a time I'm going to prep my meals. Pick a time I'm going to do this, do that, do that, do this. Now, did I stick to it completely 100%? I say about 90%, because I did try to read before I went on the first walk, and then I tried to do my second workout at about anywhere between 2 to 4. Sometimes I didn't get to it, and I had to move it, but because something else came up. But it did teach me how to effectively time block. I do time block in my other life, and sometimes in your personal life, you need to understand how to time block. So in doing this, I did learn sometimes put that phone on silent. Just, cut off the phone at a certain time to get your rest. Cut off your phone at a certain time to get your workout done. That's why a lot of times you saw my phone on airplane mode, because I didn't care to talk to people or anything like that when I had things to do. It taught me to be more productive with my time. I thought that was very amazing, very cool. And like I say, I do it in the real estate side, and I also do it in my studies, but I never really did it in my personal life. So that's something I really learned, and I thought that was really cool.
That she could die, or is she forgetting that she's the only mom they have? Wow.
This did get me out of the house quite a bit. If you sit between 4 walls all day and you're thinking about things that's going wrong, or your medical or whatever, you're going to get in your head quite a bit. You're going to be lost in your own thoughts, and before you know it, you're going to be in a bad place in your personal life or your professional life or whatever. So the one thing I love that this did for me is it did teach me, hey, Brandon, it's okay to get out the house and enjoy nature. I've seen so many birds that I love. I've seen so many people that I've grown affectionate to and affectionate towards me. Of course, we saw our friend the coyote or wolf or whichever one, and I'm sure in October he's going to be a big motherfucker, and I'm going to get my ass ate. Not that way. Get your head out the gutters. But, getting the sun on you. Look, I'm about to scare all y'all. Yeah. Anyway, getting the sun on you has been a major boost in my self-esteem, my self-confidence. It's been amazing. So, and it's helped my mental clarity quite a bit. So, getting out the house, but I still do watch my 600-pound life. Okay, so let's talk about this one. I have met a lot of cool people. I met, for example, my walking partner, Miss Tammy. She is awesome. I met a church couple, Michael and Tracy. They're a beautiful couple. Even though I've never really seen them together on the track, because one comes out early in the morning and one comes out a little bit later because he wants to go to bed and sleep all day. They're retired. I don't care. There's a lot of wonderful people that's been out there. There's one guy I don't see anymore. I think I talked about him before. He's the guy with the leg that was, I think he broke his ankle or his knee or something like that. I ain't seen him in a while, but you meet all these people and they do become a very good support system, especially my walking partner, because she has talked me through so many things that I've gone through. over these last 75 days. Actually, yeah, over these last 75 days. And, you know, sometimes she's had to talk me off the ledge because there's been times I wanted to crash out about certain things, and she's really had to keep me, okay, Brandon, come down, come off the ledge. Okay, let's talk about it. So that's been really cool of her. You know, just walking around, walking around, you meet all these cool people. Quintetta, she's a really cool person. By the way, Quintetta is Miss Little Scoop of Peanut Butter. And she's very pretty, by the way. A lot of energy, really cool person. I guess next year I have to have a dance off against her. So get ready for that. You cannot percolate the way I can. I can't even percolate. But you know what? We're gonna see who can cha-cha slide better.
And then I whip my legs forward, and it just pulls the rest of me.
Honestly, lose my mind if I were in his shoes. It's amazing.
Let's see. Let's talk about mindset, because if you remember when I was in the hospital, I was fucked. You know, I was sad because I was giving up an internship, actually a co-op that I really wanted to be a part of. And, you know, when you give up certain things that you're supposed to be doing, you look and you say, man, I'm supposed to be in Australia right now. I'm supposed to be, you know, finishing up school right now. I should be graduating this year in 2025. And yet, unfortunately, because things happen, you know, you get down on yourself, you start eating way too much, I wasn't drinking, thank goodness, but, you know, you wanted to go to the bottle. Thankfully, you know, doing this has really showed me, hey, you know what, it's a setback, but don't look at a setback as a setback. Look at it as a slingshot. You know, you pull the slingshot back, and yeah, you're going backwards, but when you go forwards, it shoots you way further than you ever could have imagined. And even when you go to that spot and you kind of pull back, you're not going back that far. But then when it shoots you again, you're moving so far ahead that it is, you just feel really good. And, you know, this did put me in a more mentally positive place, especially with the goal setting. You know, goal setting is something I love doing, and I've kind of gotten off of that, but this helped me break it back down into 12 weeks and then a year, and then, you know, look at the big goal, for example. What's the 5-year goal? And then break it down into yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and sometimes daily goals. So thank you, Andy, for that, because you helped me get back on a positive mindset trend. Which leads us into unfucking yourself. Now, what is fucking yourself? No, it's not that get your heads out the gutter, angry vigilante, get your head out the gutter. Stop it. It is pulling your head out of your ass and getting back on track the way you know you need to. You know, like I say, I've never put the responsibility of how I was physically or mentally on anyone else. Things happen to you. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond to it. And I wasn't responding very well, so I had to unfuck myself. I really had to do the work. And like I say, you see it every week with the goals. You've seen it on my mirror. Now we got to change some of these out. Some of these are going to stay top of the list, but we're going to move them down a little bit and put 3 new top ones on the list. But part of unfucking myself mentally was losing the weight, because if I look at all the goals I want to accomplish in the future, like, for example, getting married, having kids, being president of my business, if I don't lose the weight, guess what? I'm probably not going to be here in 5 years to even see it. And that is one of the biggest fears of mine, is dying before I realize all my dreams or goals, or dying before my kids turned 18 years old and out of college, or not college, out of high school. I don't want that. Thankfully, I didn't have to experience that. My dad passed a month after, about 2 months after I graduated. But I want to be here for them. So, here we go with the cons. You ready? Sure? Let's go. Now, this is one that is more of a matter of opinion rather than a fact, or this depends on what you have going on in your day. Now, because I've been off and I'm on disability right now, 2 workouts a day is just fine. But when I get back to work, when I get back to studying, 2 workouts a day is fucking overkill, and you do not need to work out. You don't need 2 workouts a day. You just don't. 45 minutes is enough, maybe an hour. Now, if you have the time and your goals are that you need to work out twice a day, then please do work out twice a day. But for me, I did not. It's one of them things where it's like, because now you have to pick what's your second workout. And as you guys saw, a lot of the times I was just walking a second workout while doing something else, or I was throwing a frisbee until the frisbee went somewhere else and I still ain't got my disc back. Okay, that's cool. But to me, it was just overkill. Now, if your goal is you want to do, one like cardio in the morning and then like a body weight resistance, weight training in the afternoon, or you want to flip those 2, that's fine. But to me, 2 workouts a day is just overkill. One good one is all you really need. Once again, this is one that does not pertain to you if you're retired, you're on injury, or you just have all the time in the world. But this does have some time restraints, especially if you're working, if you're in school, or if you're both and you're raising a family. Then you're going to have those time restraints of trying to do especially the 2 workouts and everything else. Now, the water should be the easiest one. You got to drink water all day, but it's one of them things where you are literally having to fit every. Now, of course, we all have the same 24 hours, but we all don't do the same thing in 24 hours. And because of that, sometimes it does get a little hard. So the time constraints could be a little bit of a pain in the ass, but can you get it done? Yes, you can get it done, unless you have one of those busy days where you just cannot get it done. Or we'll get into the other one. Just hold on a second. Sometimes changes have to happen. Sometimes, changes always have to happen. Like, for example, when I pick a meal plan for myself, and somewhere towards the beginning, the beginning part, we were probably about day 15 to 20. I had to change things because my doctor wanted me to pull a lot of sodium out and a lot of sugar and a lot of other things out, which changed my macros. So once you have a plan in place, now you have to wonder, does this change things? Because this is a medical reason that you are changing things. Or maybe you have an injury in the middle of, maybe you'll have an injury that you have to train differently now. Does that help? Does that change things? Or, it's one of them hard things to really get through, to talk about. Like, there's changes that will leave you wondering if you passed the day or if you failed the day, and then you have to try to write to Andy and ask him. And one of the things that did really, leave me angry is sometimes they don't get back to you for days at a time. So you're just plugging along, and then they'll get back to you and say, oh, well, you couldn't help that. So, yes, you did pass. Okay, cool, thank you. But, let's say you're plugging along and then they say, no, you failed because you had to change your meal plan because of medical stuff. Yeah, let's get into that next one.
Eastern Europe food.
So as you've seen probably throughout this year, Alaska's been getting hit with a lot of earthquakes, tsunami alerts, stuff like that. You know, forest fire, fires and stuff like that. And that is a variable that is out of your control. You cannot control the weather. You cannot control if you get hit by a hurricane, a tornado, if a bear walks across your lawn and now you can't go outside with the bear. You cannot control those things. And I think stuff like that should be in effect of, okay, Andy, do you want me to go out here and tango with this coyote? Because the coyote can whoop my ass. The 8-year-old across the street can whoop my ass too. But, you know, if there is a earthquake or tsunami outside, do you want me to go play in the water? If this volcano starts erupting, do you want me to go out there? You know, there's a fire. The air quality is fucked. Do you want me to go out there? Really, Andy? You want to kill me? You know, it's not good to fail because you die. That's not cool. Andy, get this shit together. But, you know, sometimes, or maybe it could be, hey, you got to work a double, so you can't go outside. Maybe you're stuck on the airplane and, you know, it's a little bit of a thing where you get your water in, you can probably get 2 workouts on the banana because you can't really walk up and down. So it's one of them things where you might just fail because of something that you did not do. It wasn't your fault, but it's going to be blamed on you. So anyway, let's get into the last con. There are some days where this was easy. There were some days where it felt like I just, you know, flew right through. And then there were some days where it was just boom, just, nope, move back. You know, like, yeah, there were days where you hit your water, like, we always went over our water, but it felt like you were just pretty much, more water, or it felt like there were days where, you know, you just want to relax and not do a second workout. And those were the days where I picked like yoga or stretching or something like that. You know, but if you don't have that big of an imagination, then it could be a little bit hard to do 2 workouts in a day. There were days where my books sucked. You know, some of those books kind of did suck a little bit, especially the 12-week year where he pretty much repeated himself 32,000 times. Yeah, I hated that book. You know, but it's not that bad. But like I say, it's those days that do drag. So now that we did that, let's talk about the takeaways. I'm friendlier than what I thought I was. You know, I know sometimes when people walk up to me or they look at me, they think I'm really an asshole or something, but really, I'm a nice person. I'm friendlier really once you get to know me and I can be myself around you and you show me that I don't have to tone myself down to talk to you or be around you. I'm fine. Weight loss is not as hard as I thought it was. It was more or less putting yourself in motion and eating the right foods. You know, now my problem was, and anyone who knows me can tell you this, Angry Vigilante, he knows this. I don't eat a bunch of crap. It's just that I eat and then I end up sitting on my ass all day. So we gotta keep the activity up in order to eat whatever we want. Reading can be fun if you pick the right books. Like I say, the Marketing That Moves You, my first 365 Days, Millionaire Real Estate Agent, Homebody. I love those books. The rest of them, sticking to something can be done if you put the effort in. I've put all the effort in, and as you saw, I stuck with it all 75 days, every workout. The meal prep, we stuck with, we didn't cheat, we didn't do anything stupid. We didn't break our fast until 4. Man, this was amazing. It was an amazing thing. And you know what? For the most part, it was fun. Now let's talk about 2 more things. And the first one is second workout would be a body weight workout, no matter what. So it would be, instead of walking or doing something else, I would always make it a body weight workout. So whether it's upper body, lower body, core, whatever, I would want to do, because, you know, I could have took advantage of being so much heavier and then tapering down as I lost the weight. You know, that could have been used to strengthen up the upper body, because the lower body, when you're walking, is going to get stronger just due to the fact that it's carrying around all of this. But I could have used that to the extra weight to strengthen the upper body, the shoulders, chest, back, core. So that would have been something I would have did differently, and that would have been done every day, or maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or every 2 day. I don't know, something like that. I would have had the goal list every week. Now, we did implement the goal list during the what do you call that? During 12-week year, but I would have probably implemented it from day 1, so we could have hit goals. We could have picked different goals every single week, but we did implement it. But I would have implemented it from the beginning. Find a partner that would do this with me. Now, that is one of the absolute hardest things, because when I tell people I want to do this, you know, that could be a very, no, they don't want to do it. And that's fine. I understand this is not for this isn't for everyone. You know, I really wanted to do it. Everyone I asked said no. So that is understandable. I would have found an accountability manager, not partner, manager, because that person would have really stuck to my ass and made sure that I got all this done at a certain time, and I probably would have hit 100% on the time blocking. Finding different workouts instead of just walking, that goes again with the whole, I would have done body weight. You know, sometimes when your creativity isn't there, your energy isn't there, you just do the same thing over and over and over again. And while walking is a great workout, walking actually burns more calories, actually burns more fatty acids and fat than anything else. But once again, it is one of them things, you're just walking around a circle again and again and again and again. I'm at 20,000 steps today as I'm recording this. But I would have probably picked other things. That was the goal, but then it was like, we lost a Frisbee, and I was like, do I really want to do other things? Let's just stick to walking. If I was to do this again, I would do a second workout that is something else. I would have had both a DEXA scan and blood work before and after, because, wow, don't get me wrong, I love this right here. Oh, by the way, Brandon the broker for 10% off. I won't say it accurately tracks, so it does track trends, but it does not track body fat and muscle and lean mass as accurately. So for stuff like that, that is where you will want a DEXA scan. So I think getting one before and then getting one after, and blood work, could really show you where you are as far as your numbers, what you should be doing, what maybe you need to cut out. So if I was to do this again, then that would be something I would do. Which leads us to the last question, which is, but if this channel ever hits 100,000 subscribers, which it will not, because nobody will watch any of this, because all 5 people who have watched every single episode of this are not going to get me to 100,000. But if this channel ever gets to 100,000, January 1st the following year, we will do the entire 75 hard. So would I do it again? If pushed to, I would do it. But I think there's other things I'd rather do. I'd rather try. You know what? I've heard of 75 medium and 75 soft. I might try those in the future. I might try. And here's actually a fun fact. I've actually done the entire 75 hard before. So would I try it again? That is one of those things of, who knows? But like I say, if I get to 100,000, then yeah. Well, there goes the storm coming. So I got to get up out of here. I got to batten down the hatches. Make sure Angry Vigilante's sister is okay, because she's got my kids. So I got to make sure she's okay. Got to make sure his mom is okay, because, you know, his mom is my lover and my mother-in-law. And always remember, folks, life is temporary. Wu-Tang is forever. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.